It is everyone's favorite time. It's grammar time. You thought I would forget. Never. Anyway, glad you're here today, and we're going to go over the last assignment you had before spring break. So on Thursday, you were assigned Chapter 5, Lesson 4, page 112 and 113. And so today we're going to go over that to make sure you have it correct. So what I want you to do is to get that grammar worksheet out and to follow along and make corrections as needed. I'm not concerned about a score for this. I'm concerned that you understand the material. So let's get started. Get out page 112 and 113, chapter 5, lesson 4. What is an adverb? An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Modifying a verb. Denise always shops at the mall. Here our verb is shops, and the adverb tells us when she's shopping. Denise always shops. An adverb can modify an adjective. She is usually particular about what she buys. Here our adjective is she equals particular. If you can remember that, is our linking verb. She is the subject and it's linking to particular, and here in this case it's a predicate adjective, and usually is an adverb telling you when she's particular. Modifying an adverb, she comes to the mall very early. When does she come? She comes early. To what extent is she early? Very. So both very and early are adverbs. Adverbs answer the questions how, when, where, or to what extent. Intensifiers are adverbs that modify adjectives or other adverbs. They usually come directly before the word they modify. Intensifiers usually answer the question, to what extent? So if you look here at the graph or the table, in the middle of your page, you have adverbs answering the question how, when, where, to what extent. How? Slowly, quickly, quietly. When? Today, rarely, annually. Where? Nearby, there, around. To what extent? Rather, quite, extremely. Many adverbs are formed by adding the suffix ly to adjectives. Sometimes a base word spelling changes. Ly is added. So here we go. We have an adjective. We've got strong, immediate, and easy. And then you can add ly to make it strongly, immediately, or easily. Let's go to the activities on your first section. Underline all the adverbs in each sentence. If there are no adverbs in a sentence, write none on the line to the right. There is a big sale at the mall today. There's a big sale at the mall, and when is it? Today. Today is answering when the sale is. If you go up here, you remember your adverbs answer how, when, where, and to what extent. There is a big sale at the mall. When is it? Today. So you would, instead of circling that, you would want to underline it. So today is your adverb for this one. Now, people who shop wisely can save a great deal of money. People is the subject here, and what are they doing? They're shopping. And so in what manner do they shop? They shop wisely. So wisely is your adverb. Number 3, Denise always goes to sales. Denise goes to sales. That's the basic part of your sentence. Then you want to know when or to what extent she goes to sales. Always. Number 4, in the past, she has been very lucky with her buys. She has been very lucky. She has been lucky, and to what extent? Very. That's your adverb, excuse me. Number 5, she bought a rather expensive necklace very cheaply. So here in number 5, you have 2 different adverbs here. She bought an expensive necklace. Expensive is telling you about necklace, but to what extent? Rather. So rather is your adverb, and very and cheaply. Number 6, she feels happy when she finds a deal. She feels happy when she finds a real deal. Number 6, there is no adverb. That's why I was kind of wondering about that. She feels happy. Here you have the subject, linking verb, and a predicate adjective. And she finds a real deal. Real is an adjective telling you about what kind of a deal. They tried to trick us on number 6. Number 7, for example, she bought a nearly new tent once at the outdoor store. So the tent was a new tent, and nearly is telling you about the adjective of new. So nearly is your adverb. Then we have, for example, she bought a nearly new tent once at the outdoor store. Once is also an adverb because it's telling you when. So in that sentence, 2 adverbs, nearly and once. Number 8, she will rather proudly show you the suitcase that she bought for next to nothing. So she will show you. How will she show you? Proudly. Notice it ends in ly, that's an adverb. And to what extent? Rather. And for next to nothing. She will rather proudly show you the suitcase that she bought for next to nothing. Number 9, if you want to find a good deal, stay close to Denise. So here, if you want to find a good deal, good is telling us about deal. Good is an adjective. Here it says stay close to Denise. And stay is our verb. So close is telling you where to stay. Close. Stay close to Denise. Number 10, she is amazingly skillful. Here we have subject, she, linking verb is, skillful, that's your predicate adjective. Amazingly is an adverb telling us about skillful in both spending and saving money. That is, those are the answers for the first section, or excuse me, the only section on page 112. All right, now let's move on to page 113. On page 113, it tells us identifying adverbs and the words they modify. Underline the adverbs in the following sentences. Draw an arrow from each adverb to the word it modifies. For a second, let's review, and we'll talk about the questions again for adverbs. They answer the question how. They answer the question when. They answer where, and finally, to what extent or in what manner. Okay, in what manner? All right, number 1, a load of salmon arrived on the docks yesterday. So here we just simply want to find out what's happening. Load arrived. When did the load arrive? Yesterday. So we're supposed to underline the adverb, then draw an adverb to the word it modifies. It's telling us when the salmon arrived. Number 2, the guard walked very cautiously into the building. So what is happening in the sentence? The guard is walking. The guard walked. In what manner did he walk? He walked cautiously. So cautiously is telling us how he walked. And then here we have an intensifier telling us, to what extent did he walk cautiously? So very is telling us about cautiously. Number 3, our space probe landed softly on the moon today. So what's happening in our sentence? Space probe landed. And how did it land? It landed softly. It's telling us about how it landed. And I'm going to get rid of some of those other lines since we're not supposed to be using those other lines. And then, when did it land? It landed today. Number 4, the lifeguard swam extremely fast. What's happening? Lifeguard is swimming. And how's he swimming? Fast. And to what extent? Extremely. Number 5, quickly we gathered our gear. What's happening in the sentence? We gathered. What's being gathered? Our gear. And in what manner is everything gathered? Quickly. So quickly is our adverb, and it's telling you how everything was gathered. Number 6, the busy beaver gnawed quite furiously on the tree trunk. So what's happening in the sentence? The beaver is gnawing. How's he gnawing? Furiously. And to what extent? Quite furiously. Number 7, I am well pleased with my new job. I am pleased. Remember, subject, linking verb, predicate adjective. I equals pleased. To what extent are we pleased? Well. So well is telling us about pleased. So let's see here if I can get rid of some of this stuff. I'm new at this, people. Mrs. Lynn's learning new tricks, and it's not easy. All right. I am well pleased with my job. We talked about pleased being the adjective, well as the adverb, and it's telling us about pleased. Number 8, that boy is rather talented. He'll go far if he works hard. Remember here we have boy equals talented. Subject is the linking verb. Talent is the predicate adjective, telling us to what extent is this person talented. He's rather, so that's our adverb telling us about talented. Then he's going to go. He'll go. Where's he going to go? He's going to go far. So where, far, that's an adverb telling us about go. If he works hard, works, how's he going to work? Hard, that's your adjective, and it's telling you about works. Number 9, the plumbers finally finished repairing the pipes today. So what's happening in the sentence? Plumbers finished repairing pipes, okay? When did they do it? Today. It's telling you about the repairs. And finally, I guess I would call that when they finished. Not sure. I think so. All right, number 10. Quite suddenly, the horse bolted across the field. Quite suddenly, the horse bolted across the field. What's the horse doing? He's bolting across the field. And then we want to know in what manner, how, when, or where. Suddenly, he's bolting. And to what extent is he bolting? Quite suddenly, bolting. All right, let's go on to section B. And I'm just going to give you some examples that could work. Your examples may work too. The shopping mall was extremely busy the day Sean went shopping there. So notice we have extreme and we add an ly, and it's telling us to what extent the mall was busy. Number 2, blank all the stores were filled with customers. Almost would work. Almost all the stores were filled with customers. Sean always shops with a friend, or Sean usually shops with a friend. Any of those could work. Some of you probably use the same or try to use the same adverb in each one. Try to use some variety. They blank stop at the ice cream store in the center of the mall. When, or let's see, what are other questions? How, when, where, to what extent, in what manner? Maybe sometimes. They sometimes, their parents would probably prefer sometimes. Stop at the ice cream store. Sean and his friend were blank surprised to see that the ice cream store was gone. They were totally surprised, very surprised. To what extent were they surprised? Sean and his friend equal surprised. That's an adjective. Surprised is an adjective. And very is an adverb that modifies an adjective. In its place was a completely new store. It was probably like a vitamin store instead of the ice cream store. Number 7, they stepped inside and a clerk asked if she could help them. So this is asking you, where did they step? They stepped inside. It's telling you where they stepped. They looked blank and saw computer games on all the shelves. They looked around and saw computer games on all of the shelves. This is telling you, around is telling you where they looked. As dedicated game players, the boys were quite pleased with this new store. Fully pleased to what extent is answering. So the boys were pleased. Boys, subject, linking verb, pleased, predicate adjective, telling you to what extent quite pleased. Number 10, on the other hand, where can they get a really good ice cream cone now? Okay, and really is telling you, it's just telling you to, it's telling you how good, not how good, to what extent of goodness is this ice cream. So remember, as a reminder, how, when, where, to what extent, and in what manner our adverbs answer those questions for sentences. All right, that finishes our Chapter 5 Lesson 4 grammar lesson for today. And what you will be receiving some instructions on how to record that you completed this task. Thank you.